Ever feel like you're a prisoner in your own mind? Yeah, we're going to dive into the psychology of overanalyzing. Why our brains just love to get stuck on repeat, replaying these tiny little moments over and over again. We'll look at what's really driving that loop and what it's actually costing us.
Okay, let's get real. You've been here, right? Someone sends you a simple text, like just one word, okay, and bam, your mind just goes into overdrive. Suddenly you're analyzing everything. Was there a period? What does that mean? Why did it take them 7 minutes to reply? You're trying to figure out the tone of a single word. It's just one little word, but it feels like this massive, unsolvable puzzle.
Or, hey, how about this one? You're talking to someone and you make some tiny little mistake. Maybe you trip over a word or say something that comes out kind of awkward. For literally everyone else, that moment is gone. Poof, vanished. But for you, oh no. In your head, that moment is playing on a constant, painful loop. You're seeing it from every angle and you just cringe every single time. And that's really the whole deal, isn't it? It's all about taking these tiny, insignificant little moments and your mind just blows them up until they feel enormous, like they're packed with all this meaning and all these consequences. So if any of that is ringing a bell for you, well, you are definitely in the right place.
Okay, so what is actually going on inside our heads when this happens? That leads us right into our first section here, the never-ending loop.
Right, so this is a super important distinction to make. Overanalyzing, it's not the same as productive problem solving. Not at all. It's repetitious thinking. It's your brain just spinning its wheels, searching and searching for answers when there might not even be any answers to find. It's kind of like a detective desperately trying to solve a mystery that doesn't actually exist. But why? Why would our brains even do this? It just seems so useless, right? So counterproductive. Well, let's dig into that in section 2. It turns out this all comes from a really basic primal instinct. We're talking about your brain's protection system.
So here's the thing. At its core, this isn't some bug in your system. Your brain is actually just trying to do its number one job. Keep you safe. It's trying to protect you from pain, from rejection, from embarrassment. So it scans everything for potential threats. The problem is, sometimes that little threat detector just gets stuck in overdrive.
So what's pumping the gas on this protection system when there's no actual danger around? Well, it usually boils down to 3 big things. A real fear of being judged, the huge impact of stuff that's happened to us in the past, and, that impossible chase for perfection.
Okay, first up, that fear of judgment. You know exactly what this is. It's that voice in your head that starts up the second a conversation ends. If you're an overanalyzer, you're probably replaying everything, just torturing yourself with these questions, totally convinced you were judged in some negative way.
And this is where past experiences come in. It makes perfect sense, right? If you've been hurt or criticized before, your brain basically flags that memory. It's like, okay, remember this? This felt bad. Let's not let this happen again. So it becomes extra alert, constantly scanning to protect you from that specific kind of pain. It's trying to help, but it's working off of old data.
And then there's perfectionism. Perfectionism. This need for every single word, every action, to be flawless. It's a total trap. Because guess what? Perfection isn't real. It doesn't exist. So your brain gets stuck on this impossible mission, chasing a ghost. And that's what creates that endless loop of critiquing yourself.
All right, so we kind of get the what and the why now. But here's the deal. This habit, it isn't harmless. There is a real cost. And we're going to get into that in section 3, the hidden cost of overthinking.
Whoa, okay, this breakdown really says it all. I mean, look at that. Half of the impact is just pure mental exhaustion. Think about it. Your brain is running a marathon while your body is just sitting on the couch. It's no wonder you feel drained all the time. Your mind is just always on. And then, of course, there's what it does to our relationships. See, when you're stuck in that overanalyzing spiral, you're not actually responding to what people are doing or saying. You're responding to the story you've made up about what they're doing or saying. You start inventing these motives and assuming things that just aren't there, and that can create so much tension out of literally nothing.
Okay, this right here is so important. For your brain, an imagined problem and a real physical threat, they're the same thing. There is zero difference. And that's why the anxiety feels so real. The racing heart, that tightness in your chest. Your body is having a genuine physical reaction to danger signals your brain is sending out, even if that danger is 100% in your head.
And we all know when this gets worse, right? At night. During the day, you've got distractions, work, errands, people to talk to. But when everything gets quiet and dark,
There's just nowhere to hide. It's you and your thoughts, and man, they can get really, really loud. Look, when you're stuck in that cycle of being anxious and exhausted, it can feel totally hopeless. I get it, but I want to share something with you, a simple truth that can really start to change things.
Just let this sink in for a second. More than 90%, over 90% of the stuff you overthink, it never even happens. The huge disasters you imagine, the awful judgments you're so scared of, most of it is just fiction. It's not real. All that time, all that energy spent worrying about ghosts.
And really getting that's the first step to getting free. So the big question is, how do we take that knowledge and actually use it to break the cycle? Well, that brings us to our last section, breaking free. This is the way out. Okay, so here's a practical 5-step plan. Step 1, just notice it. That's it. Just have the awareness to say, oh, okay, I'm in the loop again. Step 2, give yourself a worry budget. Set a timer for, say, 10 minutes. Go nuts, worry all you want, but when that timer goes off, you move on. 3, take action. I mean physical action. Get up, walk, do the dishes, anything to break that mental state. 4, and this one's a biggie, learn to be okay with uncertainty. You have to let go of needing the perfect answer for everything. And finally, number 5, be nice to yourself. Your brain isn't trying to mess with you, it's just trying a little too hard to help.
Ultimately, this is all about building a new habit, a new reflex in your mind. So the next time you feel your brain starting to spin out over something small, I just want you to pause for a second, take a breath, and ask yourself this one simple question.
Is this real, or is it just a story in my head? Is there any actual real-world evidence for this fear I'm feeling, or is it just a story I'm telling myself? Just asking that one question, that can be the anchor that pulls you right out of the thought storm and back to solid ground.